Well, I was kind of getting exhausted of that lame Tenere 700 stock exhaust, so I bought a full system. Let's dive into it. Let me show you what I got. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the show, thanks for clicking on the video. So here's what's going on. I got my Tenere 700, I had it now for over a year, love the bike, but it sounds boring. So everybody kind of knows that issue, you know, you go online, you look for an exhaust and you're all over the place. You're from, I don't know, $350 for a Camel ADV slip-on to $1,500 for an Acro full system. And now comes the battle. What do you want? What do you need? You know, are you on a budget? Do you want the best of the best? Do you just want to spend as little as possible? So here's what I did on this one. I was looking at the Yoshimura. I wanted a full Yoshi exhaust, but I really wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that much money on a bike that I personally ride pretty hard. You know, the Tenere has a tough life with me. I trash on it pretty good, so I really wasn't sure. Now my idea was to make the almost cheapest exhaust that I could. And I'm going to walk you through what I got. And it's not the absolute cheapest way, but it's as cheap as possible as I could go without making the bike look ridiculous. So it's not a shorty 10-inch carbon fiber can. So here's what I did. I went on AliExpress and got a full downpipe or a header set. So it's supposed to be stainless steel, and it cost me $76, I believe. So that was the cheapest I could find, and everything is in here: the downpipes, the Y pipe, the O2 extension wiring, the springs. It even came with instructions. So just looking at this, I thought that it's going to be absolute garbage. I thought for $76, this must be, you know, paper for it tin stuff, but it's really not. If you look at it, I'm going to try to get in here. This looks like a pretty decent pipe, and it seems pretty sturdy. So if it fits, I think this would be a great, great value. All the welds look nice. I mean, honestly, I was really impressed when I got this. So now I had my downpipe. Now I needed obviously something for the rear, and this is where it gets really, really difficult, I'm going to say, because there's so many different slip-ons out there. Again, you know, you got the Acro, you got the Yoshis and the Arrows, and Camel ADV does this stuff, and I don't know who else is out there, the Leo Da Vinci or something like that. Bunch of options out there. Again, I wanted to go the most inexpensive way without the bike looking trashy. So I went on eBay, and for $136 I found a full rear slip-on. It comes with the mid-pipe, it comes with the brackets, everything. No instructions though, which should be pretty straightforward. So this here is a full-blown copy of the Acro. I mean, the Chinese, they have no shame. It looks the same graphicing, anything. So if somebody wouldn't know, they would think that this is a high-end exhaust, which is really not. So I'm now around 200, I think with shipping tax, around $220 into this, which is almost the cheapest way I could go. Amazon had a shorty can that was like 10 inches long with fake carbon on it for like $45, and it was just a little too weird looking. I didn't want to go that far. I kind of like stuff that looks like it could have been coming from the factory. Obviously, everybody knows that the factory can on the T7 doesn't look like this, but I think it's going to be nice enough. So first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a scale, and we're going to weight all this to see how much this weighs, and then we keep going. All right, here we got the scale. You guys can see it's on 0, and I'm going to start stacking up stuff now. So we're going to put the slip-on on here. 2 pounds and 10 ounces, and then it comes with the mid-pipe. It takes us to 3 pounds, 9 ounces, and then we stack up the whole down tube stuff. I'm going to see how we can get this all on here. So as you can see, we had 7 pounds and 8 ounces, and that's without the hardware. So I'm going to call this an even 8 pounds, but it's not going to be any more than that. So now you guys have seen what I got. Now it's time to put the bike on here and take the old one out and get that one off. Once I have the old one off first, we're going to weigh that too and see exactly what the difference is between both systems to see, one, is there a weight saving, and two, how much are we saving? So as you can see, I got the 700 strapped on the lift. I'm going to fire it up right now real quick with the stock exhaust so we can hear the stock exhaust now and then how it's going to sound later with the aftermarket exhaust. It's actually not bad for stock exhaust, considering how quiet most of the bikes are. For stock exhaust, this sounds pretty good, but I'm really excited to see how the other exhaust is going to sound. So let's go to it. Okay, so here we got something new. I always try to improve stuff as I go. And I started a second channel. Yes, it's going to be the 701 Cycles channel. I'm going to post a link in the descriptions. And my plan is this. I'm going to keep doing my videos, but the hands-on, the tech stuff, replacing parts and all that, I'm going to make videos and post that on the other channel. That means that these videos here, for the general information, I can make them a little bit shorter, so I don't want you guys to have to sit through an hour video and see me changing exhaust if you guys are not interested in that. You know, if you only want to see the exhaust, the before and the after and the specs and all that, that's going to be in this video. Now for all you guys that want me to see and explain how to change the exhaust, you will be able to do that in the other channel. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier on everyone. So now that we have the old exhaust off, we're going to put it on the scale and see how much it weighs. So this is just a slip-on. It's 11 pounds and 3 ounces. So it's quite a bit more. It is 4 pounds more than the whole entire exhaust that I'm going to put on. And then here I have the header with the catalytic converter on it. Just trying to get that on there. There you go, 18 pounds. And we're going down to 7. That means we're taking 11 pounds off the bike. That is huge. That is a huge weight saving. All right, we are back. Exhaust is on. As you can see, it's all installed. It's beautiful looking. Let's fire that up and see how it sounds. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see. Wow. Wow, that sounds pretty good. I'm happy. This was pretty inexpensive. It bolted on pretty straightforward, no surprises there. It sounds good. So, really happy with that. We know what the weight was before. We know how much weight we saved by this, which is substantial. I mean, taking 11 pounds off your ADV bike, that is a big step. No matter who says what, this is a big deal. So there's no one more thing to address. and I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to walk you through it, but I see conversations online all the time about slip-ons and having to tune a nut. So let me talk a little bit about that. If I would have kept the stock exhaust, no, I'm going to take that back. I would have done a tune anyways. Here's the problem. The Tenere 700 comes running lean from factory. They do that so they can pass all the emissions. So from factory, the bike is running a little leaner than it should. Normally, you would say if you just do a slip-on and leave your catalytic converter on, you'll be fine. That the slip-on is designed to work with the catalytic converter without having a tune. That is questionable, but I'm going to say if it's a high dollar slip-on, I say I can live with that. The moment you do a full exhaust, you need a tune. I'm not going to go too deep into it because it's quite a scientific deal and it would be a whole video by itself. But fact is this bike is running leaner even now. Some people say, oh no, it got more power. No, it doesn't. It has less power. People think it has more power because it's making a whole lot of noise now. You know, you get on it and you hear it, whoa, and you think like, oh my God. But no. So I'm going to put a tune on this thing. There are two ways to go with this. One is an aftermarket tuner. It's a device you install in your bike. Two is sending out your ECU for remap. Pros and cons to both ways. So if you send out your ECU to remap, you send it out, you tell them what you did to the bike, they make a map, you put it back in, you're good to go. The advantage of that is you are not adding another part to your bike that could be potentially a failure. The downside to that is if I say now, if I don't like that exhaust, I want to put another exhaust in, I have to resend that out and get it retuned. So there's the pro and there's the cons of getting a remap on your ECU. The second option is an aftermarket tuner. That's what I have. So pros and cons of that. The aftermarket tuner I have to install in the bike. That means I'm going to have to take a whole bunch of stuff apart to plug that thing in. I'm not going to walk to you guys. This is pretty straightforward. This is self-explanation. The downside to this is it's another part to the bike that could potentially fail. If this thing gives up, then the ejector is getting no more signal and the bike will shut off. That means if I'm, I don't know, in the middle of Africa, let's say, and this thing gives up, I have to take the bike apart to unplug this to go back to my lean setting that I have now to keep riding and fix the issue. The good thing about this is, the pro on this is, if I do more modifications to the bike, I don't need anything else. I can just readjust my tune on here. Also, with the mail-in ECU map, your tune is going to be more accurate than what I'm doing with this one, because this is just manually. I can control the mapping manually up and down. This is called an EGK, it's called an electronic jet kit, and I'm doing this the old school way. So back in the days when bikes were carbureted, a real mechanic, what he would do is he would pull the spark plug and just look at it, and by the way the color it burns, he knows it's running too lean, it's running too rich, he needs to do something. And basically that's what I'm going to do here, which is a pain in the rear on the Tenere because the spark plug's sitting on top, so you have to take the tank off to read your spark plug. So I do not really recommend for the average guy to go this way with this tuner. You know, it's kind of do as I say, but don't as I do, kind of one of those deals. But I got this really cheap and I trust these things. I have used tons of them on a whole bunch of different motorcycles. I have never seen one fail. So I have faith that this is going to work good for me on the bike. I might have to take the tank off a few times back and forth to read my spark plug, but once it's dialed in, it's dialed in. So this is what I'm going with. All right, guys, and here we have it. Exhaust swap on the Tenere 700. So in conclusion, cheap exhaust for under 250 bucks, which I think is really cheap for a full exhaust, not just a slip-on, like the whole deal. It saved. It cut off 11 pounds off the bike, which is magnificent. I think it sounds pretty good too, so I'm happy. I think the real test is going to be, you know, the next 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, see if it lasts. You know, is it going to rust? It shouldn't. It should be stainless steel, but you never know. I'm just going to have to see how it takes the abuse. And with that said, thanks very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, type in the comments, hit me up. If you like the video, like it, subscribe it, all the good stuff. I appreciate you guys, supporting me. And I see you guys in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.